Batman Arkham Knight has been causing problems for many people. I want to share with you how I have been able to get this game running and running perfectly on my computer. First, let's look at the recommended specification for this game. Now, there is a set of minimum requirements, but I strongly suggest that you go with the recommended specifications. This game most likely will not run well on minimum specifications. So the recommended specifications are a processor of FX3 8350 at 4 GHz or a third generation Intel Core i7 running at 3.4 GHz. Your memory configuration should have at least 8 GB of RAM installed. And as for hard drive space, you should have 55 GB of free space. Your graphics card, which is the most important component of any gaming system, should at least be an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760 with 3 GB of memory. I would like to note here that if you have an AMD card, you might be out of luck. As of right now, AMD has issues. AMD is currently trying to work out driver issues with Rocksteady, and they haven't posted an ETA for an update yet. So until that update drops, AMD cards will not be able to run this game smoothly and without bugs. If we take a look at my computer specifications, you will see that I am running Microsoft Windows 7 Ultimate. Your version of Windows should not affect how this game runs. More importantly, we see that I have an i7 4th generation 4790K running at 4 GHz. This CPU is unclocked. It is very stable, and if you have a clocked CPU that is even a little bit unstable, it might crash this game. So I would suggest taking away the clock and turning it back to its base core speed. I have 16 gigabytes of memory installed. If you have more than 8 gigabytes of memory, that's great. But make sure that any gigabytes, that any memory you have, you aren't using for other purposes. So I know that some people use their memory as a RAM disk. Turn that off if you want to run this game. You don't want to interfere at all with how the game utilizes your memory. Now if we go to my display settings and my graphics card, you see that I have a display resolution of 2560 by 1440 running at 59 Hz. My graphics card, which is the GeForce GTX 970, is able to run Batman Arkham Knight smoothly at this frame rate. And I highly suggest that you have the latest generation GTX series, the 900 series. With Batman Arkham Knight, NVIDIA put a lot of work into their GameWorks package. GameWorks is a set of NVIDIA technologies that makes in-game physics effects like smoke and rain more realistic and able to interact dynamically with the player. So, and that's only supported on the latest generation cards. So if you have a 900 series or a Titan series, you should be good to go. That might be the source of some people's issues, that they have an older generation card that just doesn't work. Now that we have covered the PC hardware requirements, let's go over the software configuration. I'm going to open up NVIDIA GeForce Experience, and then let's take a look at what settings I used in GeForce. So if we go over to the Games tab, you see that I have Batman Arkham Knight. The software automatically recognizes it. NVIDIA GeForce Experience is usually very good about recommending optimal settings for the games that you play. However, many news articles and in my experience, I have found that using the optimal settings is not the best course of action. So do not press this optimize button over here. You don't want to use what settings NVIDIA suggests. Instead, I will share with you what settings work for me. So Based on my current hardware configuration with a GTX 970, I can afford to turn anti-aliasing on, play it in full screen, have a high level of detail. However, I have all NVIDIA settings turned off. You can see that I have turned off NVIDIA Enhanced Light Shafts, NVIDIA Enhanced Rain, Interactive Paper Debris, Interactive Smoke and Fog. These are NVIDIA settings based on their GameWorks technology, which is seemingly causing problems for many people, so turn those off. I have a native resolution, and as for the shadow and texture resolution, I have it as high as it will go. The texture resolution only goes up to normal, disappointingly. And then finally, I have NVIDIA's multi-frame sample anti-aliasing set to off. NVIDIA tells me that the game is not optimized, but it works great for me, and I hope it works for you if you try these settings out. One last note is that my drivers are currently up to date. So NVIDIA released a game-specific driver update, version 353.3, specifically for Arkham Knight, as it says right here. Many online forums say that this driver update is giving them problems, and as with all driver updates, there is a high risk that it will cause issues, and you might have to revert to your working driver. So be warned. This new updated driver just might get the game working for you, or it might completely black screen your system and you'll have to go back to what you were using before. But if you really want to play the game, it's well worth giving it a try. One final suggestion that just might dramatically improve your game experience and fix any problems you are experiencing is installing all the game files on an external hard drive, or if you have an SSD, install it on the SSD. This game is massive. The textures are massive. The files, the voice files, everything in the game takes up a lot of space. After all, it requires 55 gigabytes of hard disk space. And that's to write and read everything from the disk. So if your disk read speed is slow or your disk write speed cannot keep up with the game, then you will experience stutters. If you install this game on an external hard drive, that should mitigate some of the problems. That way you have two hard drives working, and it will be much quicker for the system to process and be able to access game files. On the other hand, if you have an SSD, you shouldn't really have any problems at all. Please leave a comment in the video below this video and let me know if any of these suggestions worked for you. If I have successfully helped you get this game working, please like this video and share it to any of your frustrated friends. Thank you.